what's an Agile coach? Well, probably a good place to start is, what does the coach do? Well, big picture stuff is, it guides the team to high performance, and then you can kind of say, well, okay, well, what do we mean by high performance? Well, that's a bit more, stuff gets a bit more interesting then. Well, one of the things that make a team high performing is team members. They collaborate loads with each other. And what does that mean? It means that we don't have a group of individuals, we actually have a group of people who are cooperating together, means they're working together towards a common goal, but more than that, they're actually collaborating together, which means that it's 2 + 2 = 5, which means that when the guys are having a discussion about some essence of the solution, it's not about my solution versus your solution, or my answer versus your answer. It's actually about us both respecting each other enough to put our solutions on the table and actually take the best of both and morph them together to form the end result. The end result is better than the individual answers that we came up separately with. So we've got this idea of collaborative, highly collaborative teams. Got this idea that the high-performing team organises itself. It's not obsessed about role. It's not obsessed about titles or job titles. It's about, okay, these are the tasks on the task list. What do we need? How do we need to organise ourselves to address this particular, address where we are now? Right. Okay. I'm going to pick up this task. I'll pick up this task here, which is a coding task. You're going to pick up that task there, which is actually expanding some new stories. You're going to pick up that task there, which is about writing some tests. Moves forward a bit further, and we haven't got on as far as we know. We're behind with testing, so actually I'll pick up some testing. Testing activities, rather than just sitting there and saying, no, I code, that's it. And that's kind of down into this idea that we value team success over individual success, and that which supports the self-organizing element of high performing. It's just because I've done my 5 tasks which are all about coding, job done. Well, it's the wrong answer, really. If we actually haven't done the other tasks that made up that definition of done for the stories in that sprint, then we haven't actually achieved what we set out to achieve. The team has actually failed in that case. Therefore, we've failed with the team. Team success, equals individual success to a certain extent. We succeed as a team, not just as individuals on our own. Again, building on all that, we're kind of motivated by trust rather than perhaps fear or anger. We actually have to trust each other to be able to collaborate with each other, because it's actually about me respecting my colleagues' points of view and opinions sufficiently so that if they're actually passionate about something, I actually listen to them very, very carefully, because it means there's something important in there that we need to discuss, and that comes from trusting them as individuals. We actually, as a team, as a high-performing team, we take ownership for our own decisions and the commitments we make. We make ourselves accountable for delivering what we said we would deliver and working the way we said we would work. And we do all that we thrive on constructive disagreement. High-performing teams are actually quite noisy places as we discuss often and challenge and debate various items and things. But actually what we do is that in that disagreement, we're actually exposing new options, working through scenarios and options, and then we close down onto agreeing on a solution which works for us, and we do that rapidly, we do that efficiently, and then we move on. And then lastly, when you kind of put all that lot together, building on that point there in terms of constructive disagreement, we work to consensus there. We get to a consensus that, that's the right answer for the right point in time that we are now. And we'll have done that through, we'll have diverged, and then we'll have converged on that answer. And then you kind of build all that together. You've got to this point where actually as a team we think we can solve any problem. Actually, we're quite a gung-ho group of people. It's fun, it's exciting. What's the next problem? That's a high-performing team. So as a coach, we're guiding our teams to being high performance. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, we act as the primary agilist on the team, or on the teams that we're supporting. We're the go-to point for how does Agile work in our organisation, and we can articulate that very clearly, very concisely to our team members, and guide and help them to achieve those goals and use those methods. we can guide other stakeholders to Agile as well, because it's not just about the immediate team. There's the product owners that sit around the edge. There's Agile project managers that sit around the edge. There's actually senior managers and team members who sit in other perhaps reporting hierarchies. We may have systems test people who sit under a different reporting hierarchy. It's actually about taking the Agile principles to those people as well and guiding them to better understand the principles, the mindset, and take them up and pick them up such that they can be better and more effective stakeholders of the team. Because again, as the team, it's not about the individual, it's about team success. So we actually don't succeed as a team until we actually have ultimate value delivery to our end users, to our end customers. That's when we really, really succeed as a team. In addition, the coach is going to work as the team's servant leader. Again, it's a massively powerful concept, that servant leadership, and it backs up an awful lot of those points we were talking about just a minute ago in the high performance element. It's the servant leader subsumes himself over the success of the team. He's there to guide and to steward. He's not leading from the front. He's not shouting. It's not about saying it's mine, my solution, my team. It's none of that. It's about team success. And so in a way, a good servant leader is kind of invisible, which is really interesting. They're quietly in the background, helping and facilitating and stewarding and helping the team move forward, guiding the team to find better answers. And lastly, it's about helping the wider organisation see the benefits of Agile. Okay, so what do we do as a coach? A little bit more pragmatic and down to earth now. Well, first thing we do is we coach. And what does that mean? It means we're training, we're instructing, we're guiding a team or team members to achieve particular goals, specific goals. So it might be like, well, I'm a new iteration manager of Scrum Master, and it's about helping me to run a more effective retrospective. So as a coach, you might actually sit down with me and say, okay, Graham, what is it you want to achieve in this retrospective? What is it you want to help the team explore? And then working with me to work out, okay, well, what's an appropriate agenda for that retrospective? How are we going to run it? Are we going to play any games? Are we going to use any techniques to help get the team thinking? What facilitation tools are you going to use? Getting me to think through all that stuff such that I will run an effective retrospective, and then let me get on with it, and then afterwards sit down with me and say, okay, well, how do you think that went, Graham? What did you achieve? Did it achieve what you wanted it to achieve? And if not, what can we do better next time? So it's kind of coaching, it's that working with people, with individuals or the team to achieve a particular goal. Then we've got a kind of mentoring relationship, and that tends to be kind of a longer term relationship. It also tends to be more of a one-on-one thing. It's kind of mentoring coaching is often used in a very kind of confused, similar sort of vein, but being a bit theoretical about it, mentoring is a longer term one-on-one basis, and it's often kind of builds an ongoing relationship with a particular person. So a classic case where you'd be mentoring as an Agile coach is you get a new product owner, for example, or a new team member, even for that matter, a new Scrum Master for that matter, and you build a longer term relationship with that person, where you actually initially you're going and helping them identify where it is they want to go as an individual, how they want to improve. You'll perhaps role model particular things, and then that individual will then pick them up and have a go themselves, and you will support them through that, giving them ongoing feedback and support as they go through, and basically looking after them as well, a bit of hand holding and making sure they don't expose themselves too badly. So it's a positive building kind of relationship. And then we've got facilitating. Facilitating I always think is a really important and often neglected skill. It underpins what a good coach and a good mentor is able to do, and it's about being able to go into a formal meeting or an informal meeting for that matter. It could be a corridor meeting, but it's about getting that meeting, that group of individuals, to get to their goal as effectively and as in a friction-free manner as they possibly can. So it's about efficiency and effectiveness and a bit of fun as well. That's always a good plan. But it's trying to get the guys to work together really effectively. How often have you been into a meeting and it kind of facilitates itself? No one's actually running it. No one's actually taking responsibility for helping the group of individuals get to the goal they've kind of set themselves. Or often maybe there isn't even a goal. It's just let's have a talk about some stuff. Good facilitator will kind of pick the meeting up, isn't the star of the meeting, but is kind of sitting there quietly, helping people move, observing the tone and the tenor and the emotional temperature of that meeting, and making it work and making it move forward. training. You'll be a trainer is when you're going to do just could be just one-on-one, very informal bit of training on something. It could be a formal training class. It could be a bit of chalk and talk on the whiteboard in front of the whole team. But as a coach, you will go train people, train your team, train peripheral team members on specific agile techniques. And then lastly, you've got a consultant role, and sometimes you'll play that as an agile coach. The thing to remember with the consultant role is that when you're acting as a consultant, you've kind of got your head down and you've lost sight of the big picture. You're getting very, very task focused. Not to say that it is wrong, sometimes it's the right thing to do, but you're very, very task focused, and all the team learning is kind of minimized when you're in a consultant role. Yes, I might be working with someone, in which case they're clearly going to pick something up, but sometimes I'll just be doing that job on my own. I'll be expanding those stories or writing some test cases, for example. People potentially aren't going to watch me do that, so the opportunity for skills transfer is kind of minimized as a consultant role. Which brings us around really to thinking in terms of when you're looking down kind of south of that line I've got there, you've kind of got this kind of, in terms of developing sustainable high performance, it's kind of a short-term focus there. But when we're in kind of coaching, mentoring, facilitating mode as an agile coach, that's where we're getting more maximising our skills transfer and knowledge transfer. And that's where we want to be as an agile coach. To a certain extent, what we're doing is about making ourselves redundant. It's about building the skills and the capabilities of our team such that they need us less and less and less. In other words, they've moved to a high-performing state. And when you're working as a coach, you always want to think in terms of where's the entry point for any bit of coaching and mentoring we're doing. Is we want to be in this kind of coaching mode. And what that is, it's about asking questions. It's about guiding. It's not about just saying, bang, here's the answer, here's the solution. It's about helping the team or team members find their way to where they need to get to. Okay. And the last slide here, this is the IC Agile Accredited Training Roadmap. It's based on fundamentals of Agile, which is the core Agile principles, Agile tools, Agile techniques, and introduction to the Agile mindset. And then from there, learners and individuals proceed down one or more of a number of training and learning tracks. These are underpinned by many, many, many learning objectives, which have been contributed by the worldwide agile community, and the track we're talking about in this particular webinar is the Agile Coaching track, and it has two classes built into it: Agile Team Facilitation and Agile Coaching. Successfully achieving both of those classes, and then going out and using the tools and techniques taught in those classes in the real world, then recording evidence of that use, both visual and written, and then presenting that to an IC Agile committee is part of the route for achieving what we call IC Agile expert status. And then the final part of that is in working with that committee or panel, if you like, and actually working through some coaching and facilitation challenges that the committee or the panel will actually set, and you'll actually actively coach the panel and facilitate events with the panel in a live interactive session, and achieving all that successfully will hopefully end up with being awarded the IC Agile expert status. Okay, thank you for listening.